to my channel. Today I will be just discussing more about books. As per my last video, or maybe I didn't mention it, I don't remember. I recorded that video like 3 weeks ago. I uploaded it really late, but one of my goals for this year was to make more book related videos, so here we are making more bookish content. Yes, so last weekend was the Toronto Word on the Street Book Festival, and this is a type of festival that I've been looking forward to for a couple of months now, actually for a year, because I learned about it last year after it happened. So I was looking forward for this festival, and I went with my boyfriend Dave as well as my friend Trish. It was also her birthday, so we had like a small little celebration for her birthday. So that was a fun little trip over the weekend. If you don't know what Word on the Street Book Festival is, it is essentially a festival where we celebrate books and like Canadian authors, indigenous authors, we also celebrate or like had booths for local bookshops, local publishing and big publishing companies, or like the Canadian branch of a bigger US version of the company, like HarperCollins. HarperCollins is US based, right? Yeah, it's essentially a festival that is held in downtown Toronto where we get to celebrate local Canadian authors, indigenous authors, people of color, authors, queer authors, and all types of authors from all around the world. That is, and by all around the world, I mean all around Canada. that is gathered in this festival, and we would buy books from them, support them, maybe get some book signing, or join some giveaway, or like stuff like whatever we do in a festival. And obviously, the day before, I promised I'm gonna get one book. I got an entire bag, and when I promised myself in the mirror that I'm gonna get one book, I think it meant one book bag and fill it with books. I have one book bag with a lot of books, and so yeah, I have a haul for you guys about books. I haven't done a book haul in a hot while. This is the bag. This tote bag is free. This is from a book that I haven't read, that I have no idea what it's about, but I think it's pretty. Also free things, so why not take it? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books. I got 7 books, even though I promised I'm gonna get 1, maybe 2. I got 7 books instead from this festival, and I'm gonna tell you all about it. So the first tent that I went to was a local Vietnamese Canadian author, and I saw that they have a little bundle. Who can resist a little bundle of books that is for sale? So obviously I got the little bundle, and this is poetry. These are poems, and I think this is novel. It's a lyrical novel, this thick one, and these 2 are her poetry. And this is from the author Thanh Dinh. I don't know how to pronounce Vietnamese name, so I'm sorry. So Thanh Dinh is a Vietnamese Canadian poet and writer. Her work explores grief, diaspora, queerness, political memory, and the sacred violence of survival. Her debut collection, this one, The Smallest God Who Ever Lived, was named the top new release on Amazon and praised for its emotional intensity and lyrical boldness. Salt and Ashes is her second collection, composed as a symphonic elegy for the dispossessed and the divine. So this is Salt and Ashes from her. And this Smallest God Who Ever Lived, a collection of fragmented wounds, not words. This is the book cover. This is Chronicle of a Love Foretold. This is her novel. I think this is her first novel. I couldn't really find her on Instagram, even though I did search for her name. Maybe I just don't recognize her. My next stop at this festival was another story bookstore, I believe is the name. It is a bookstore. It is an independent bookstore that I've been wanting to visit in downtown, but it's a little bit outside the downtown core, so it's a little bit hard for me to get there. I live in Mississauga. Even though I'm really close to the Toronto-Mississauga border, it's quite difficult for me to go to places outside of the downtown core because all of the buses here and the trains go right to downtown, and then I have to transfer to the subway, and then I have to transfer to a streetcar, or even a bus, or maybe even both sometimes, and I have to walk maybe 10 minutes. It's a long commute when you go outside the downtown core. I've been wanting to visit this bookstore for a while, but they have a booth in the festival, so therefore obviously I'm gonna go get some books from there and support their cause and support them as a bookstore. And I got two things I got Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. So in case you didn't know, R.F. Kuang is one of my favorite authors. I love her books because it's really quintessential dark academia, or at least Babel and Calabasas. I haven't read the Poppy War trilogy yet. I'm really excited to read it. So when Yellowface first came out, I wasn't really interested in this book because it's not dark academia, it's not fantasy, it's more nonfiction, and it's not really my type of book. But I really want to support R.F. Kuang, and because it is from the indie bookstore and not from Indigo, so I decided to get it. Also, they had like no tax when you buy it from their booth, so why not? So what Yellowface is about is quintessentially how white people take credit for a person of color's work. It's on the perspective of the white person stealing and trying to impersonate that person of color. I'm not too sure if Athena is Asian, but I'm gonna assume that she is, considering R.F. Kuang is Asian, and also probably more specifically Chinese. Either way, it's a person of color and it's a white person trying to be credited for their work. Next book that I got is Braiding Sweet Grass, which is basically a book about indigenous wisdom, scientific knowledge, and the teaching of plants. As a resident of Canada, I think for me, I would like to learn more about the land, about indigenous practices, even if I would just read them. I think it's good to support the original people who live here, and I thought this would be a good starting point to learn all about it. And just to read a little bit on what it's about, brings lens of knowledge together to show that the awakening of a wider ecological consciousness requires the acknowledgement and celebration of our reciprocal relationship with the rest of the living world. For only when we can hear the languages of other beings are we capable of understanding the generosity of the earth and learning to give our own gifts in return. And this is not necessarily a Canadian author. She currently lives in New York, but regardless, I think learning about the indigenous roots of the North Americans, of the natives, I think it's a good way to start and understand that the land that we live in has its own culture and traditions. Next up is a duology that I think it's a duology. It is high fantasy. It is the Hurricane Wars by Thea Guanzon, as well as The Monsoon Rising by the same author. One thing that's really funny is that I didn't know that this author was Filipino, but I was looking for Filipino authors in the book festival, and I picked this up because of the gorgeous cover, as well as the stencil. This is one as well. And when I read her name, when I look at her name, it's like that's like a Filipino name. But even then, I wasn't so sure. But as I go through the map, because fantasy loves their maps, this specific map, although the main continent is more basic names like Aether Heartmines, the Heartland, the Great Steep, the Sun Steed, the Hinterlands, the Highlands, like very basic. If we go to the other islands, the Ninavar Dominion, which is basically a archipelago, you can see that it says Ahimsa, or Vasiyas, or Irawad, or Didagat. And it's like, that sounds oddly Filipino, especially the Vasiya, which is similar to Visayas, which is a main island group in the Philippines, the central one. It's the one that I live in. And so I was like, this is very much like Filipino inspired. And so I went to The Monsoon Rising and go to its own map if you look at this particular archipelago, it looks exactly like the Philippines. Like, this is Luzon, but more stubby. This is Visayas over here, and I believe this one would be a short version of Palawan. And then this is literally the tippy point of the Mindanao island region. I think this is Sulu. No, that's the Sulu Sea. But like the tippy point of the Mindanao region. So it's like, okay, so you are Filipino. So I thought that was like a cool thing. But anyways, Hurricane Wars and the Monsoon Rising is a duology that I have no idea what it's about, because honestly I picked this up because of the book covers and the designs. Because look at how pretty this is. It also goes to the sides and as well as inside. As you can see inside, doesn't really have anything on the sleeves, but it has this one, so that is cool if you ask me. And then this one is Monsoon Rising, same motif with the moon but red. Doesn't go into the sides though, or like the top and the bottom. I don't know why I said sides the last time. And this is the art inside. Doesn't have any on the sleeve, but it has this one. Again, I have no idea what this is about, so let me just read the synopsis real quick. It is the fates of two bitter enemies with opposing magical abilities are swept together in the Hurricane Wars, the spell-binding debut in a fantasy romance trilogy set. Oh, it's a trilogy, not a duology. In the Southeast Asia-inspired world ravaged by storms. Yeah, that is 100% a Filipino. But anyways, that is the call I have for you. So just a quick recap. I had the book bundle of the poetry book and the debut novel by the Vietnamese Canadian author Thanh Dien. I have Braiding Sweet Grass by Robin Wall Kimmerer. I have Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. And out of the entire bunch, I think these two are my most excited book. I'm excited to read this, and this is A Hurricane Wars and A Monsoon Rising by Thea Guanzon. So yeah, I don't think I'll be buying any more books after this. I say that every single time though, and I always buy more books, so I need to read that first. I recently finished Calabasas, and I love that. So I am just on a reading mood right now. So I'm currently reading The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson, as well as The Painted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett. It's on an ebook, so I'm gonna be reading those two books. Calabasas was a great read. A 4 out of 5. I still prefer Babel. I don't know if I'm going to make a video about Calabasas, because honestly, while reading the book, it is a little bit hard for me to string together my thoughts, because I had to like really think of what they're trying to say, what they're referencing to, because it's an academic heavy book, right? With all the philosophers and all the authors and all their different theories. It took me a lot of brain power to understand what they're saying. So that's okay, because I enjoyed all of it. So that'll be it for this video, just me rambling about the books that I have. I'm really happy that I have another set of books to read, even though I have a lot of books to read on here. Hopefully I'll be able to read this entire thing in the next 10 years, because right now I'm very slowly reading the books. Yeah, that is it for the video. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!